for Golden Eagle Media. My name is Matthew Vanover.
My name is Ryan Dean.
And my name is Matthew Parker.
And we're so excited to be your amazing host for today's exciting episode. In today's episode, we're going to be briefly diving deep into the county tournament for basketball. We've got a lot of amazing matchups to cover. An interesting rematch coming up tonight on a classic rainy Thursday night. And after that, we're going to dive into baseball and softball, soccer, and mountain biking. But before we jump into action, be sure to hit that follow button so that you never miss out on an episode of Soaring Sports Podcast. And if you enjoy the show, please leave us a rating. It helps us review, and it helps us bring you more exciting and fascinating content. So with that, guys, let's get right into it. It is another Thursday, county tournament day, semifinal day. How we feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Good. I'm excited for the basketball boys and girls to come into the Pete Matthews Coliseum and catch a couple of dubs against their respective opponents. So yeah.
It's that time of the year, county tournament, I love watching basketball at Pete Matthews Coliseum. I don't know why. Not sure if it's just the chicken sandwiches there or something.
Big.
But it's huge, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different atmosphere than what I'm used to, but it's in a good way.
Yeah. Well, I would say the one thing that's matchup coming up is Jacksonville and Anniston.
Oh, brother.
That'll be a great matchup. I know that the basketball boys are very, very fired up for that game. Matthew, you know a little bit more. You were at the last game, which that was a close game.
It was a very close game, and nail biter.
Yeah, it came down to the last play. Matthew, you know more about that?
Yeah, so guys, the county tournament has officially begun here in Jacksonville with a huge game against the Jacksonville varsity Golden Eagle boys and Piedmont. These are two very amazing, dominant and amazing basketball teams with great bonds on and off the court. This game was a very physical rematch of a Christmas break rematch. The final score of that one was 63-58 Jacksonville, and Jacksonville will continue on to play Anniston in the semifinal tonight at Pete Matthews Coliseum at 4:30. So, with that being said, Piedmont wanted the dub. They wanted to come back for revenge.
Yep.
And we're looking for the same thing with Anniston tonight, so we're kind of flip-flopping, put on the flip-flops in the winter kind of deal. I'm excited. You know, like we talked about last week about if we get the opportunity to play Oxford again, they're looking forward to it. And Oxford's in the semifinals. So, you know, it's just one game at a time. But, yeah, that game, like you said, came down to the wire. It scared me to death. Behind the media table, it scared me to death.
Which I feel like that game coming down to the last 2 minutes, that game was, I feel like Jacksonville was leading by a pretty big margin. Then Piedmont started creeping back more. And I feel like it was a sloppy ending if you're Coach Boozon. I don't think you're as satisfied as you have been past games for finishing out those basketball games. And I'm pretty sure words were said to the players. But hey, we got the dubs, so yeah,
that's right.
Looking forward to tonight. So
That bad boy Tracy McGrady on us for like 18 points in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Man.
The halftime score was actually 32-21. So Matt, like you were talking about, you know, we were going. Obviously, J-Bill had the lead at the time. We were on a roll, and then unfortunately, you know, we just said, hold up, let's pump the brakes. And I don't know why we did that, but you know, it's just a game. There were a couple of, I wouldn't say injuries, but there were a little bit of mishaps in the final seconds of the first half. I can't remember who the Piedmont player was, but Gavin Peeler and Devin Barksdale collided, and you could hear. I mean, you could hear that clap. You heard the clap that they collided, and I was like, ooh. And Devin Barksdale and both Gavin Peeler were limping off the court, but you know they come back out with a basketball in their hand before the second half and showed out.
Yeah, that was a vicious hit. I said Devin Barksdale and Piedmont player were coming after the basketball after it was ball, and I just see Devin sprinting to come to a complete stop, and I was like, oh goodness, that didn't look at it all, and he was slow to get up, but he finished out the game, with over 15 points, and Jacksonville to a win. So speaking of that, with our other team that is playing before the boys, is the girls. The girls are playing Oxford tonight. They played Weaver, which they won last night, 57-19. They were leading by as much as 42 points going into the half. And if you're Coach Boozon, you couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I was impressed with the girls. You know, their spirits were a little low during the day. Like, oh man, you know, yeah, we're going to play in the county tournament, you know, but that's fine, you know. Hey, but then Weaver showed up, and then Jacksonville got off the bus, and they were like, all right, let's play ball. We want to go get this thing. So the girls have started slow in the beginning of the season, then they loaded back up and said, all right, here's the deal, let's go get this thing. And by golly, they did.
Yeah.
We played Weaver last night, which we don't see very often in Calhoun County. Like you said, the final score was 57-19 for that game, but there was a lot more people in the stands for the girls' game than there were the boys' game. That's a first in Jacksonville high school history to me. But yeah, I was unfortunately not able to get stats on that game with threes and free throws and everything. We'll get back to that, the boys, here in a second. But it was just an amazing atmosphere all Jacksonville. And I loved how Jacksonville was back-to-back games instead of, well, the boys play then. Okay, now we got to watch such and such play, and then it's the girls.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the boys just won, and then the girls have a chip on their shoulder. Let's go win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And that's the one thing I noticed about the girls basketball players lately is that obviously you saw how the slow start at the beginning, but now how they've been playing recently. I mean, they've been dominating recently, and their confidence has just been through the roof. I would always walk in the first period. Me and you had first period together, Matthew, and you would hear Helena talking about it, and she just feels so much more confident now.
Yeah.
see that smile on that face.
Yeah.
After the game, yeah.
Yeah, she was the leading scorer last night with 17 points, and she dominated. She just took over that basketball game and just
Wow.
led the girls' team to a very, very good win. So, yeah.
Let's go, Helena.
Let's go back to the boys' game for the stats. I totally forgot to cover this while we were at it, but the Jacksonville shot 6 threes. They had 16 fouls and shot 19 free throws, and I believe, 16 of those free throws they got, so they were 16 out of, so they shot 16 out of 19 free throws correctly, and for Piedmont, they were 6 threes, 14 fouls, 9 free throws, and 3 dunks. So obviously, dunks come with a turnover possession, and when you get that opportunity, slam it in the rim. And
Here
that's what
comes
they
the
did.
boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, here comes the boom. So that's about it for basketball. We're going to move on tonight. I'm looking forward to the matchups. We play Oxford for the girls, and Jacksonville we play Anniston. So I don't think the girls have faced Oxford this season. I don't believe that they. Yes, they have. They played Oxford in the regular season. Yes, they have. So and then the boys will play Anniston, which is another Christmas break matchup that come down the wire. We'll see how this one goes. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope y'all are too.
Yeah, of course. I'll be there, and I know you'll be there.
I will be there.
So, yeah, for sure.
I'll try my best to be there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but Jacksonville Aniston's always that game that you have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know why, but that game in particular, it's always such a good game.
It is. Especially,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially since we've won the first state championship. Or actually that season, it was electric when Kay Phillips was here and John
Yeah.
Burton, when that connection
That's
was
what I
here.
was talking about a few podcasts ago. How the atmosphere during that year, especially during the Aniston games, how it felt like they had their own student section on the other side of the gym. That's how crazy it was. Gym was packed out. I still got a little highlight video on my phone. It was a highlight video of that game, and the gym was just packed out. It was crazy, and just like I said, it's always so electric going to that game, and that's why I'm looking forward to this game a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
Speaking of looking forward to games, it's cold outside, and that means some baseball. And unfortunately for you, Matt, that's
Oh,
cold
buddy.
practices for you. I'm so sorry.
7:30.
But hey, I mean, y'all were area champs. What is it?
back to back.
Back to back. So those 7:30 at night practices work.
Yeah.
And I'm
They pay off.
gonna let you run away with baseball. You got this one. Go for it.
So for baseball wise, we've been practicing this bitter cold weather. We've been working tirelessly. I know me and the boys, the seniors, have been working to just prepare for this season and what this tough schedule has in stake for us. I said, speaking of going to our schedule, first game we traveled to Glencoe. Glencoe has always been that one team around here that has always been relatively good for no matter what. They've always been a good baseball team. They've always put the ball in play, throw strikes and all of that. And then we go to Lincoln, and then we play a doubleheader with Lincoln and Christian. Lincoln, we've played, Lincoln beforehand, and so Lincoln, about the same roster they've had last year. I think they only had one senior last year. I said we know a couple guys over there, and Christian never played Christian, so we don't know much about that. And then we go to Gaston City. I know that our seniors got that game marked for Because we went to them spring break, and we lost a very, very close game, 5-4 last year. We hit probably one of our best hitting performances all year. We had a couple extra base hits, then we had a homer from Drew Pridgeon, which shout out to you. And then we started out with a home. We play Gunco again at home, and then we play Hokes Bluff, Alexander, and White Plains. So those stretch of games, I'd say Alexandria is definitely one of the more respected teams around here, even though that's one of our rivals. But that's always a good game when we play them. And then baseball, Calhoun County baseball tournament. It's always a fun spectacle to come watch and see at Chalk Park. And and then we play a couple more games for spring break, and then area hits. In our area, we have Heflin, Calhoun County, White Plains, and Anniston. White Plains, that we're very improved from this year. We're definitely no slouch of a team that we're looking forward to play against. Calhoun County has always been a tough team. I say Coach Ed and our coaches, Coach Wise, Coach Poole, always try to get us prepared for that. And so, and we finish off the season with Gas City and Mufford again. So, yeah.
That's a good schedule. And I like the sound of that.
Yeah. And so we try to make it as hard as we possibly can. Coach Ed doesn't want no slouch of a schedule. So, So.
Yeah, Coach Ed is probably one of the best baseball coaches around here, schedule-wise. And he said in math class last year, he said, and excuse me if I have to take a phone call, but it is for an important reason. It is for these guys to go win a state championship. And, we had the opportunity to do that. Fortunately, came up short, and that's fine. But he's doing his job as a head coach to do all that he can do for his players. And I respect that. That is 100% a head coach. I respect that.
I miss Coach Jared's math class. I miss his Algebra 1 math class. He would always talk about baseball.
That's the baseball talk. If you want to take Algebra 1, that is the baseball talk.
Yeah, I love Coach Ed. Coach Ed is, I couldn't love more than a head coach to lead up such a great group of guys. And super excited for what this year has in store and make a deep run to this playoffs. So,
yeah. You want to talk about baseball? Go to Coach Ed Algebra 1. If you want to talk about basketball, football, go to Pre-Cal.
That's right.
Good Pre-Cal.
I do not recommend it though. Pre-Cal sucks.
Speaking of baseball, the counterpart to baseball, softball. Matt, you know a bit more about softball.
I do know a little bit about softball. So the girls started practicing about a week ago, right outside of the Van Dimmer Gymnasium, and with media day coming and going, practice being in high gear, they're excited for a new season. I got to take a look at some of the poses that they did earlier for media day, and the poses just show it. I mean, they are extremely excited for this season. I talked to Coach actually every single day at lunch, and that man came in from Weaver, and is a coach on staff here for the softball team and football, and I am looking forward to seeing how far he gets. And he says he's excited. He says he's excited for the fans. He's excited for the fan base. He's excited for the parents, for the players, for the refs, umpires, the whole 9 yards. He's just excited to be at Jacksonville for his first ever season, and he's looking to make history. So looking forward to that. And I've got soccer on here. I forgot I had soccer on here, but Ryan, you got soccer. Go for it, man.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to talk with Peyton Sproul, Lewis Biddix is in our first period, and they were talking about this earlier that they've been practicing. They might have a scrimmage Friday after practice. Yeah, they've just been putting in the work.
They've been playing inside of the Jacksonville State University Rec Center for indoor soccer, and they've been doing it outstanding.
Yeah.
And the new turf goals that just came in, they unboxed them about a week ago.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And they said the real football team's on the field, so they're looking forward to a new season, new season on $3 million field. As well as some new players add along, like you said, Lewis Biddix, brand new to soccer, but he is an amazing athlete. So looking forward to see how well they do and how deep they go in the playoffs.
You're seeing a bunch of seniors trying out for soccer because it's their last year. They want to make the most of it. So it's nice to see new faces on that roster. Lewis Biddix, a couple of there's familiar faces. Keith Maines on there, Peyton Sproul,
Elijah Stinson.
Pat Maine.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just good to see them put in the work like they always do, because I personally love watching soccer. I've always liked watching soccer. I remember Van Cleve's class where we had nothing to do that day. We watched the World Cup. we watched the World Cup.
If you got nothing to do, and your teacher has a projector like we do right there. I mean, you go for it. Have fun.
Yeah, we were watching the World Cup, man. It was the United States-Iran game, and that was huge. So me and Alex Mullins, we were just going, we were losing our minds in that game. But yeah, soccer's always a fun season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to go to a couple games, just enjoy it.
That's awesome. So with that, I know Matt, you've been on your computer trying to get some stuff for the county baseball. I know you're anticipating baseball, so you go right ahead. We'll jump back to baseball for you.
So for baseball wise, seeding for just Calhoun County tournament, it just depends on who you play and just straight the schedule, who you play starting off, and the county team or the in-county matchups. Just who you play. Like I said, we usually get either 3 or the 4 seed, which I know the matchup between us and Alexandria will play a huge part into that, who gets the 2 and the 3 seed. And I think that Oxford, as the reigning defending Class 6A state champions, will walk up number 1 seed, and then that'll leave for everyone else to play for the highest seed they possibly can. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And a lot of the different media outlets that have come out with the brackets and the stats, we don't really know what to look at, but you on a team, you know what to look forward to, and that if you go win it, then that's the game you want to go win, and by golly, you can do it. So there's just a lot of spring sports that are coming up. We've also got mountain biking. We've got track and field.
Track and field's coming up.
Track and field that's been coming up. We've got esports about to start back up. Bass fishing's got a tournament in less than 3 or 4 weeks. We've already booked our Airbnb.
Oh, buddy.
Look, we're not that big, but we booked our Airbnb down there in Lake Martin, and we're looking forward to a new tournament. So, and I bet y'all are getting ready for the next gaming season, along with mountain biking and all these different other sports that's are called the spring sports. And I don't know why some states do things differently, but apparently I found out yesterday that some states switch their soccer seasons and their baseball season, or their golf seasons, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
But here in Alabama, we do it how it's done, and we'll talk about it here and how it's done.
Peter done.
Yep.
So
we've been kicking the fire with the county tournament, and that right now the hype in the school is up, and I think that'll work. That's awesome for me. I mean, I like to hear that atmosphere. I like to see it, and but just like we talked about last week, if you're a fan out there in Calhoun County and you have absolutely nothing to do, come on out to Pete Matthews Coliseum. Tickets will be on GoFan. Look at our social media outlets, just Golden Eagle Media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the whole 9 yards. But look for tickets and look for the links and come out and support these guys. This is the future. I met a guy yesterday, and he said he was like, man, I can't wait till these teams get the right to be here, talking about regions. And I said, these teams have earned the right to be here right now. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, that's how a bracket works. And obviously, I guess he was new to this kind of deal. And he was like, oh, okay. So then I talked to him about it, how it's different and how this doesn't affect regionals. It does affect your record, but it doesn't. And it's like, oh, okay. So just lots of learning experiences going on. There's a lot of learning experiences on the court, like Coach Morrow last night. I listened to the post-game interview with him and 95.1 The Mountain, and he was like, yeah, it was a great game. He could barely talk because he was so excited, and I can just feel the energy coming from Pete Matthews Coliseum through those itty-bitty little wires to the radio to the car. So it was just an environment that you'll never forget and days that you'll never forget. So other than that, is that it for you guys?
That's it for
I
me.
got nothing else to say.
And I will make a special announcement. I've been waiting to do this, but surprise, surprise. This will be next week and the week after, not this next week, but the week after that, it'll be strictly breaking down schedules. So we're going to break down the possible football schedule, the possible soccer schedule, the possible golf schedule, every schedule we can within a 30-minute time span. So That's the scheduled
Oh,
podcast. I know
yeah.
we've been looking forward to that. But, guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Soaring Sports Podcast. We want to thank all the athletes and the fans for sharing your insight into Golden Eagle sports and for giving us an inside look at your day by day. We hope you enjoy taking flight into Jacksonville High School sports and with us. And don't forget to follow, leave a rate, and review our podcast. Your support means absolute world to us, and we can't do this without you. Until next time, keep cheering for Jacksonville High School sports teams and athletes. And remember, in a world of high school sports, every victory, every defeat, and every moment counts. Keep soaring and go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.